Are you ready to start going through and creating systems for your business? Now, honestly, I believe that if you want to scale your business, if tomorrow you got 10 clients, writing down your systems or getting your business systematized is the way that you can go through that whole journey without losing your brain. Now, a year ago in my business, I asked myself, what would happen if we got to the point where we were getting 10 clients a week without having to burn all of my team out, and including myself, of course. So we went through the process of creating our systems, our assets basically in the business, and I want to walk you through how to be able to do that, because right now I am confident that if tomorrow we got like 10 clients to sign up into our business and we had to find and hire people for them, it'll be a little bit easier because we went through that process last year. Now, what are systems? Systems are basically typically setting up procedures, documentation in your business. These could be assets. These could be things just like writing down where your brand stuff is at, like your logo, your colors, all that good stuff. It could be things like what's your employee manual looking like, what's the onboarding process for a client or for an employee is like. These are different things that how I have seen systems and documentation in a business look like. And it's one of the ways that you can create repeatable results. So then you don't have to feel like everything is kind of gunky and clunky and everything else. So the first step is to start identifying the bottlenecks in your business. What are the things that feel that clunky? What are the things that you feel like you have to keep doing over and over again, and it's always different every single time? So as a really good example for me, when I started doing a lot of the processes basically in the business, I focused first on the part where we were onboarding our clients because we were sending different emails, there's different information. It was confusing all around, especially as I trained someone up to replace me taking care of our clients. What might be processes that are a time suck? What are things that take in a lot of time where it could be easily automated or documented? And what's something that you have to create repetitive decisions? So as a really good example, for me, I create 2 pieces of content on YouTube every single week. So a repetitive decision I have to keep making every single month is what content do I actually create. Now, I've created basically systems and documentation to make that easier for me, but it starts with that of identifying what are the common bottlenecks that you might be experiencing, your clients or your customers might be experiencing, or your team might be experiencing as well. Next is to start mapping out your business. As you've kind of put into basically words or images or something with your team of like, what are the bottlenecks? Start mapping out what are the things that need to happen before or after that bottleneck. So as a really good example, again, is onboarding our clients. We had different processes because I was trying out different things different times. So I started with that of like, what are the emails that we send to our clients? And then we looked at what are the things that need to happen before and what are the things that need to happen after. That way you start basically building out this map of where your business is at, how things are done, and how things could be done better as well. This can be done with tools like Miro. That's where we have our mind map basically for our business. This could be done with free tools basically like on Google Draw. There's so many other out there, but it's just mapping out what are the different processes in your business. Next is you want to break it down to maybe divisions. Like, we have a marketing division, we have our sales, we have our operations, we have our delivery. So break it down into different areas like that. That way it's going to be a little bit easier for your head to be able to start putting things into motion, because it's going to be very easy to get overwhelmed about all the systems and documentations that you have to put down. Now, inside of my business, we've created something called the business operating systems, and it's basically a list of assets and documentation and all of that good stuff that has guided us basically, and now our clients as we're serving it to our clients. But it started with that mess. It started with the mess of like just putting everything, just kind of brain dumping everything, and then starting to categorize where different things go. Like this email template is supposed to be here, or this tool is supposed to be used for this process, so on and so forth. Next is then you're going to put it up together and actually start creating the business flow chart. So what the business flow chart is you can go about it in like different ways. First, the way that I did it is I did it from the client point of view of like, what is the first thing that a client will see from us? That's marketing and sales. What is the onboarding looking like? What is the hiring for a virtual assistant for them look like? What is the ongoing delivery for that look like? I started from that point of view. You can start it from an employee's point of view. You can start from an operational point of view. It's really up to you, but you want to start creating the flow chart of how everything interconnects, because they do, and how things look like basically now in a zoomed out view. Because with this, you can start to having a little bit of fun with it, because you can now like, oh, this is how my business works. Next is you want to start creating your standard operating procedures template. So what these are is basically how are you going to document the different processes or outcomes in your business. Like for example, how are you going to document how to onboard a client? A really quick way and easy way for this is usually for us, our SOPs have 4 different areas. The first one is just an introduction of what it is, why this process is even important, what happens before and what happens after. Next is breaking down what are basically the things that you need for this, like what tools, what background, what access do you need from it. The third thing are basically the steps for it, that what's the step-by-step process. And the fourth thing is a good video, because then it's good to just walk someone through. If they're not seeing the button that's on the documentation basically, then they can easily just go through and watch the walkthrough of you doing it or someone else doing it and easily be able to follow. Next is, now that you have a zoomed out view of your business, is you can start looking at what can you automate first. So even before you document things, just automate a few things. It could be scheduling out meetings. You can use tools like Calendly. It could be project management software. You can use tools like Notion or Asana or Trello. You can basically use tools for posting on social media like Buffer or Hootsuite, or using tools like Zapier, Automate.io, or Make.com to be able to create automations between the different tools that you might be using as well. So this portion is just looking at what are the tools that will make different processes just a little bit easier now that you're actually looking at them. Next is you want to start documenting. Now the documentation process could look like a lot of different things. One is you create a few on your own, so then your team has something to follow, or you can create videos that you can give to your team and they can create the documentation for you. It's kind of like a win-win, because it's kind of like you're training them and at the same time they're putting into text what they've understood so far. So if there is a missed step, if there's something that wasn't in the video, that wasn't talked about, then it can even be refined and gone over. So then it's, again, easier for someone else to follow it. And of course, next is training your team. Now, one of the biggest things about learning how to do systems is that this frees you up. This is one of the ways that as a business owner, you can get freed up from what it is that you do, because you're training someone else to do the things that you might not be as good at, or to do things that you might not like doing yourself. So training your team goes into starting to delegate basically a lot of the things that you've created processes out of, to give it to them, so then it's easier for them to just do it instead of you doing that, and you can focus on the right things in your business. Next is you want to make sure that you set up an update timeline. Now what this is for example, for us, every 6 months we check on our SOPs, our assets and documentation, just make sure that things are still as it is, because of course in the business you might be changing how you do X, Y, and Z process, like how you post to social media, you might have changed tools. So of course the last step for this is to make sure that you optimize and update as much as possible. So it's going through basically the 10 steps that we've gone through so far of identifying bottlenecks, of mapping out your business, breaking it down into categories, creating your business flowchart, creating the template, basically making sure the template is still relevant to your business. What are the things that needs to be automated, documented? What might have been a new process that you guys didn't have 6 months ago? Training your team on how to do certain things. You might have hired new people by then, and to just keep updating as you go. Now systems honestly is one of the things that I hear so many people just like in silence or eye roll when I start talking about it, but it are things that excite me so much. So if you guys like this video, of course, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below a question that you might have on building systems in your business. I would love to know and answer you right off the bat. And of course, if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those 2 playlists right here and the latest video right here. Now, hope you guys have an amazing day, and remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.